It's funny how the things that we're dealing with in our real life end up coinciding with things we encounter. I was talking to someone this week about how the toxic narratives that we're raised with have us blaming ourselves for circumstances that happen to us. And then later that day, I was listening to a random Spotify playlist, and it threw me a John Prine song called Fish and Whistle. The chorus goes, "Father, forgive us for what we must do. You forgive us, and we'll forgive you." And it really hit home for me because, like a lot of people, I was raised in a toxic evangelical environment that did tremendous harm to me and to others. We hear all the time in a world like that about how unclean and unworthy and sinful we are, and how we're supposed to spend our lives apologizing to God and to the church for our very humanity. But we don't get the space to talk about the ways that those churches should be apologizing to us for what they've put us through. The problem here is that there's a huge gap between what spiritual community is best suited for and what it's most often used for. We're meant to be a source of support for each other, not a source of power and control. When we decide that we have the right to hurt somebody who isn't hurting anybody just because they're operating outside of our control, that's the point where our presence in the community does more harm than good. It's no accident that the churches and faith groups that perpetuate harm against their members and their neighbors are the same ones who lean so hard into the idea of being slow to anger. They talk about how anger is inherently bad. Meanwhile, misogyny, racism, ableism, homophobia, transphobia, valid reasons to be angry. A patriarchal system that protects abusers is a valid reason to be angry. As is a church that tells people in poverty, send us your money, but won't buy them a meal. Meanwhile, the pastor is walking around in $500 sneakers. Mine are from Walmart. Anger at having been mistreated by a system that held power over you isn't sinful or selfish or ungrateful. It's your soul recognizing that what was done to you was wrong. Feeling that means that you know that you and the people around you deserved better. And it's a step towards healing, both individually and collectively. Your religious trauma didn't have to happen. It was a structural choice made by people in power. And it's antithetical to what community should be. By building community in ways that center support and solidarity and celebrate the beauty of our humanity instead of punishing us for it, we can heal together. Let me tell you a little of what that looks like. It means studying and undoing our biases so that we aren't contributing to the oppression of others. It means showing up for bailouts and court support so that people don't have to go through that alone, instead of judging them on whether they adhered to the law. It means that when people are overwhelmed, we don't say, give it to God, and gaslight them about whether or not they're spiritual enough. We don't shame them. We say, I can help with some of this. Give it to me. It means that we believe victims instead of allowing abusers access. When someone is cold and hungry, we give them a coat and a meal and not thoughts and prayers. Connection to a larger whole is a basic human need. But we have to remember not to give up our humanity in the pursuit of it.